Oh no, my boss asked me to add observability to my application. I mean, it's a good idea, but I got to stand up a whole Prometheus environment. I got to make code changes, all kinds of things. What if there was an easier way? Well, there is, because my application is written with Spring Boot. So what I can do is I can use my Chrometer, autoconfigure, and Tanzu observability by wavefront. So here's how I do that. I'm just going to add these 5 lines actually to my pom.xml. And what that does is it basically brings in Tanzu observability autoconfigure for Micrometer. Okay, cool. So now Micrometer will send all metrics from this application automatically to Tanzu observability. Well, what is that, you ask? Well, Tanzu observability is a SaaS platform for observability and monitoring. So there's nothing you need to set up. Everything is in the cloud. You can handle it up to millions of data points per second. So that's kind of cool. So let's see what this does, right? So I just put these 5 lines in. So let's go start the application. Let's see what happened. It should be starting to pull in some observability configuration here. And yep, there you go. Okay, so the application is up and running. Let's see what we got. And it should be starting to send metrics now. Now let's go into Tanzu observability. And here's our portal. So let's browse our metrics. And look at that. We have a pet clinic metric. And there are all the specific metrics from JVMs, JDBC, HTTP. We even have some custom metrics here. So this is the number of lives of our cat. So the cat has 9 lives, as you know, and these are the number of used up lives. And looks like, well, hasn't used up any lives yet. That's good, I guess. But that's just an example of a custom metric. Of course, you can also build a custom dashboard, right? So here's a dashboard I built, and I'm pulling out all kinds of metrics here in terms of JDBC connections, cache gets, cache puts, how long my HTTP requests take, how many HTTP requests I have on the different pages and things like that. You get the idea. How many end up in an error, how many end up in an OK status, and so forth. But it doesn't really stop there. What I can also do is I can go look at my application. And again, this is what we got without any instrumentation whatsoever, any manual instrumentation whatsoever, right? So I can go in here and look at my application. You can see my application is made up of one service in this case, which is the front end, okay. Now I can go have a look at the details of this application, and I can see things like how many requests do I have? What's the error rate? What's the duration? What is the breakdown of durations? Like how many slow ones do I, or fast ones do I have, and how many slow ones do I have? Things like that, right? Requests versus errors. I can even pick one of these guys here. Let's say show owner here, and we'll see, okay, what is this particular transaction doing? So I can even go into traces, and I can see that this one comes into the front end. Okay, that's a HTTP call, comes into the front end. It runs a query. And I can even go as far as to see the actual query that was executed, right? And again, this I get by just adding those 5 lines to the POM file. And then all I have to do is to point it to my Tanzu observability URL. There's nothing to install, nothing to configure. So what if our application is much bigger than just this one microservice? Well, we can connect all those services together and get the full distributed tracing across that. All you got to do is add those 5 lines to all your Spring Boot services. And it will also interoperate with services that are written in other languages, by the way. And there is your observability. And guess what? It took me about 5 minutes to do it in this case, right? So I hope you enjoy this. This was kind of fun for me to do, and I hope you had as much fun as I did. Thank you.